Nailed it.
Yeah. Fancy red buttons going.
Smells like oil.
Why would that be? Our foot bath?
Got a foot bath of oil going here. All right. Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm Mitch. This is the Fit4Moto podcast. There we go. I got my mic turned, so it's working better.
Excellent.
I was talking into the side of it. See, that doesn't really work, but now it does.
There we go.
Yeah. Fit4Moto podcast. We talk about completely random things.
Like fit moms.
Like fit moms. Fit for mom. Yeah, man. I honestly legitimately forget what episode we're on.
Me neither.
14, 15, or 16. It's somewhere in there.
Okay. It's one of those.
Yeah. I don't remember. Anyway, we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think on this episode, we're going to talk about caffeine.
Yes.
We'll dig into caffeine a little bit, how it works in the body, what it does, the half-life of it, all that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool for riders and stuff like that because it applies. Everyone drinks caffeine. At least most people drink caffeine.
Some of us drink too much.
Some of us have a problem.
Yikes.
We're going to call it CA, Caffeine Anonymous.
Okay. What's a 10-step program for that?
Just cold turkey.
Oh.
But anyway, I feel like it's just something that there's a lot of valuable information as riders and people in general that they could probably benefit from knowing just a little bit more about how it works in the body and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's roll the intro and let's do it.
Boom.
Dude, I'm sweating. Like, I'm just sweating.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's warm out, to be fair, for the fall. It is warm, but I don't know, just from the long motos that I had today or what, but I'm sweaty.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Probably
Yep.
smell a little bit too, which
yeah.
the watchers can't really tell, but that's fine.
We should send out packages of your smell to people who want it.
Dude, like the OnlyFans girls that
Sure.
that Ziploc items and send them out to people. Like, how weird is that?
I know, right, dude?
It's so weird. Man.
Oh, man, you get a box at your door and it's just a vial
Just
of your sweat.
Ricky's boxers. There's a little trail in there.
Just the holes in them because they're overworn.
Yeah,
and,
well, those are speed holes. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like cheesecloth.
Totally.
Yeah, people would pay for that, I bet.
Oh, not very much.
We should take a vote. How much would people pay for Ricky's cheesecloth boxers?
I think shipping would be worth way more than what people would pay for.
I bet you there's some weirdos out there, dude,
Okay.
that would pay top dollar.
Top dollar. Okay, if somebody will do $37 plus shipping, I'll
Dude,
send
that's
them up
such a
there.
random number. Why would you pick $37 out of the air? Like, what in your head just said, you know what my underwear are worth? $37.
All right, so I see your number plates, lots of threes, and then for the second number, day of my birthday, boom, 37. Let's go.
My underwear, cheesecloth and all, snail trail in them, worth $37. I'm going to Ziploc it to seal into freshness.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, this has gone completely south already.
Yes. As I tend to go.
Yeah, but usually it's towards the end. I feel like we've started right off that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sweating, man. We need a fan or something going in here.
Yep.
Holy.
What about someone with palm leaf?
I would like that. We should hire somebody to do that. Maybe Harry could do that one day.
Yes.
You know, get him on the pod, get him fan. I was going to say fan leafing. That's probably not a thing. Fanning, leafing.
Like it. Well,
is it fanning or is it leafing?
He'll fan leaf.
Yeah, fan leaf. I like that.
Yeah, he's been slacking as of late.
Yeah. He's not made a whole lot of appearances. We'll have to get him. We'll have to rattle the cage a little bit.
Was he?
Get him going.
Isn't he coming to Blackfoot tomorrow?
Word is he is. Yeah. Word is he is.
Might even get a few laps.
We're gonna see if we can get him on the bike. Yeah. Get him throwing some whip-de-doos.
Whip-de-doos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't imagine the bottom of his feet would feel very good on those pegs though.
No.
That might hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Even like a normal shoes, dude, those pegs hurt.
I bet. What's the biggest size of boot they have? 17?
I have
18?
no idea.
That's what he's going to need.
Yeah, he would need a big old set of boots for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, So I feel like, dude, it's been busy the last little bit here. We did a bunch of races and we went out and did a bunch of events and all that kind of stuff. And that was really cool. But it's been a minute, man, since we've done a pod.
It has.
That's why I forget what episode we're on.
Yeah. Almost took a week off.
I literally don't even remember what the last one was about.
Thinking, chesties.
Ah, right. Yeah. Yeah, man. So what's been going on since?
Riding dirt bikes, trying to get ready for Cali.
Right. Yeah, because you signed up for what?
The World Vet Motocross Championship in California at Glen Helen.
Let me underscore this, highlight it, lines underneath, bold, italics.
Could you put a star beside it?
Stars on either side of this. Maybe
a heart?
even red ink.
Ooh, nice.
Red ink, like it's been graded. Your very first race is the Glen Helen World Vet Championships.
Why did you guys think it was a good idea to talk me into this? Like, what goes on in your head?
I'm going to be more nervous than you are. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to be running around that track when you're on it like a chicken with my head cut off, dude. Like, I'll be running to every corner, like, inside here, go outside here. Like, you know what? I'm actually going to track my heart rate, my workout, because I'm willing to bet that I will be a complete mess the whole time you're on the track.
Probably.
Dude, I'm going to be more nervous than you for sure. But, yeah, so you've been doing lots of riding and...
Hit a milestone?
Well, yeah, in number of crashes.
Yes.
That's a milestone.
One a day keeps the doctor away.
You can't just crash every day.
Why? I get them out of the way early, and then I'm good for the rest of the day.
No,
that's not how it works.
You shouldn't do that.
Oh.
Yeah, we need to put a plug in that for sure.
Okay.
We'll work on that tomorrow.
Okay, check.
But yeah, man. So you've been doing some riding for Glen Helen. That's been going well. Like, you've been laying down the laps.
Yeah. So set a record for myself, personal best, a 57.5 minute moto on the hill track.
57.5 minute moto.
Yep.
Only because you're riding the XC with a giant gas tank can that even be a thing, I'm sure.
Totally. Yep.
Man.
And because I don't go very fast. Though new top speed in that moto was 55 kilometers an hour. Which,
55?
Yeah, isn't super fast. I get that. But for me, I'm getting into fourth gear and yeah, that's new.
Yeah, that's wicked, dude. And it is fast, man. To be traveling on a motorcycle at 55 kilometers per hour is kilometers, right?
Kilometers, yeah.
But on a surface that's, rough and loose and all these things, like that's not nothing, So yeah, there might be guys that go a little faster than that. It's all in context though, because that's fast for you, right?
Yeah, and it's fast when I fall off.
It's very fast when you fall off the bike. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's cool. So, where do you feel, how do I ask this? Where do you feel in terms of like prep? Do you feel like you're getting more confident or do you feel like you still have a ways to go?
I feel like I've got a ways to go. More confident on that particular track, but I know the second I move to a new track, like say we go to the East track and spend most of our time there tomorrow, I'll be starting all over again.
Yeah. So it was today they had the East and the Main open, so they might do the hill tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It was not busy though. There's only a handful of people there today, which is crazy because it's like a beautiful fall day, dude. Like
this is prime riding in the fall.
There was 3 people on the pro track at any one point when I was on it, which is not very many, right?
Gotcha.
And then lots of newer riders on the East track, which would have been awesome for you. But yeah, so that's cool. So you're getting ready for the Glen Helen thing. That's exciting. And time is ticking. We're at 4 weeks or something ish.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Yikes.
I need to start laying down the motos too and start working on that.
What are you racing in down there?
I actually don't know yet. So I haven't signed up yet. I don't know if I'm going to do so there's amateur, intermediate, expert and pro.
And AMI would be beginner here? Amateur?
I believe so. Yeah.
I hope so, because that's what I'm doing. So
well, and I watched some GoPro from it and like the amateur class, they were slower dudes for sure. So I think you'll be safe in there.
Okay.
So I don't know, like intermediate, expert. I'm thinking expert because a lot of the guys that raced last year, the year before, were guys that I typically race against up here.
Oh, okay.
And they did fairly well in expert. So I feel like that's kind of where I should land. Pro is like old like factory pros, like
Oh, they're legit.
yeah, like fast dudes. They get to ride year round at Glen Helen, right? Like it's not even comparable. Versus some Canadians, heading down there. So I think I'm going to do expert, but yeah, we'll see.
Nice. That'd be a good fit for you.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, we've talked about it before, but for me, the placing means less than nothing. I don't care if I get last, if I get first. It means nothing to me. I just think the experience altogether would be really, really fun. We're heading down with some really cool dudes.
Yes.
Shout out to Jeremy. This will make him laugh. We're going with Tyler Went to the Land.
Tyler Wong Nung.
So he sent me a text and he goes, Tyler, I legitimately don't know how to pronounce his name. Wendland. He goes, went to the land. So shout out to Jeremy. Tyler Went to the Land is also coming as well.
Is that how you say it?
It might be, dude. I don't know. We're gonna have to get him on. We should bring him up and get him on and
1 sec.
And get him, see what this actually pronounces like.
Okay. 1 sec.
What are you calling him?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to Bluetooth it in yet, though. We haven't done that.
Put it on speaker.
But then audio is going to be crap. Wow, this actually might work. Please go, you're hot, as in like hot wire, like you're live.
I've got no idea what that means. He's not going to answer just because it's me calling.
He might not. Tyler Went to the Land.
Dude, I've never called you. Just answer your phone. All right. You're lucky, Ty.
Okay.
You are lucky.
You get off easy this time. Went to the Land.
We'll figure out how to pronounce your name yet. Just you wait.
Yeah. So it's cool because he's coming down too, and Jeremy, and I think it'll be a really fun time.
Yeah. Should be good. It's a cool looking track. The more GoPro that I watch, the more I want to ride it. Yeah,
nothing super intimidating about it, right? Other than like one of the downhills.
And the speed. Some guys hit some big numbers. Yeah,
if you want, there's some high speed sections, but honestly, it's no different than the hill track that you've been riding on. When the pros get on that hill track, dude, they're hitting almost 100K an hour.
Dude, I was watching your GoPro where you hit 100K.
Yeah. Dude,
that's so fast.
100K an hour
on a dirt scooter.
Isn't that insane?
That ain't right.
Like, and that's not like going through the desert, right? That's on a track where there's corners and things, like, and braking bumps
and ruts.
Like, that's fast, dude. So, realistically, yeah, for sure there'll be some guys there that are going fast, but you'll be fine.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. So what else? What else is going on? So you've been doing riding. What else?
Lots of riding. That's pretty much it.
What about, we brought up the idea, and I actually, I thought it was a pretty good idea. We brought up the idea of having you sort of vlog some of your getting ready for this. Like literally new rider, never raced before, going down to California to ride at Glen Helen, which is an iconic place to ride. That I think would be a pretty neat experience to kind of capture.
Okay. Well, I did start filming some of my workouts just in case. We'll get some video of me riding around we'll see what happens.
I'm thinking about bringing the camera tomorrow when we all head out and practice.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And get some actual, some good footage, some good audio and that kind of stuff. And maybe do a bit of a behind the scenes vloggy type thing with kind of your experience with it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because, whether you like it or not, people are digging the Ricky riding bit.
Oh, they just like watching me crash.
So that's cool, man. And like I say, time's ticking for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just throwing this out there. So I was at the track quite a bit last week, lots of riding. And remember how we
by the way, not to cut you off, I kind of cut you off and I'm sorry, but at the same time, when you say a bit of riding, I just feel like I need to clarify maybe a little bit. I feel like I need to explain exactly what this means to be okay. So hour-long moto, check. Also, a road to the point where you needed a headlight on your bike, but did not have a headlight. Like it was literally dark. The park was completely quiet. I wandered over to the track because I'm like, did he die out there? Like I couldn't hear the bike. I didn't see you riding around and dude, it was getting dark.
I was definitely the last one on the track.
Dude, It was dark out. Like you need a headlight on this thing. So when you say you've been putting in time, you've been putting in time.
I'm trying the best that I can.
I shut her down like an hour before that.
Oh, you got all the maintenance to do and stuff. I get that.
No, I'm just tired.
You're right.
You're just going for hours. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
It's all good. Remember how we talked about track etiquette and stuff, ripping around on the track?
Yep.
There was this one guy, 777s. He was
777.
He was fantastic. So faster rider, like way out of my league.
Okay.
And he was practicing some rollers and stuff on the hill track. And man, he would come up screaming behind me. Then he would be so chill. He'd slow down. He wouldn't try and jump over top of me. He'd wait till there's a nice, easy place to pass and just gun it. And it was awesome how much respect he gave me.
That's cool.
Because he noticed I was newer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
that's cool, man. I dig that a lot. I really, really appreciate when people do that.
totally. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I get it. Like if guys are out there, trying to do motos and stuff like I was today at the track, I'm out there. I did a gate drop. I did a start. I timed my motos. I was pushing myself really hard. I get it, right? If you're coming up on some slower riders, sometimes that, I guess, throws a bit of a wrench into your plan for that moto sort of thing. But to be fair, I guess it's no different than if somebody crashed in front of you, you're going to have to slow down and find a way around, right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, I really dig that people do that. I think that's great.
Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, just at no point did he make me feel like I didn't belong there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wicked, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow, we're already getting into this thing. I feel like we should talk about what we're supposed to talk about.
Yeah. What was that?
Caffeine.
Caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine. Yeah, man. So I felt like we could kind of talk about this. I mean, and maybe it's just because I'm a bit of a nerd, but I just think it's a really interesting topic. And I feel like a lot of people consume caffeine on some level. Next to alcohol, caffeine is probably the most not just consumed, I was going to say abused thing that you can ingest on the planet next to alcohol. Most people have it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you can get it at any restaurant. You can get it at any convenience store. You've probably got lots in your cupboard. So
yeah,
I'd agree with that.
Totally.
Yeah. So this epi is definitely brought to you by Rocket Fuel because so we didn't decide on this beforehand, but I've got a double scoop because it was a long day
today. Dude,
Yep.
scooper?
Yeah.
You are going to be sticking to the walls later, and I'm going to explain to you why that is.
Okay, so I better drink this quick before you tell me why I shouldn't.
You might actually start to see sounds if you drink that too fast.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
Yeah. So, man. So caffeine. Okay. So, a lot of people may know it as, a central nervous system stimulant.
Oh, most people definitely do. At least in my circle, when people say they're going to get some caffeine, it's that big long word that you just said.
Right. So, but because of that,
I was joking.
Oh, I
sarcastic.
thought you were serious, and I'm like, wow, okay, we're starting off on a good foot here.
Because you're that much of a nerd. You're like, oh yeah, everybody refers to it as a central nervous stimulant.
Okay. So
the old CNS.
That's exactly what it's referred to as. Okay, so let me back up a bit. When people have caffeine, they want to feel more awake, right? That's super common. But I think it's really interesting why that happens in your body, and some things to keep in mind in terms of sleep and recovery, and wanting to feel more awake by consuming some caffeine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So obviously the goal is to make you feel more awake. Now, here's the thing: from the second that you wake up, your body will start pumping out a hormone, a chemical called adenosine. Okay. Now, literally every second that you're awake, your body's putting out this chemical, and I may be pronouncing it wrong. Adenosine. The medical literature that I was consuming referred to it as what the heck did they call it?
Sleepy hormone?
Adenosine. That's what they call it. Adenosine. I call it adenosine. Whatever. Adenosine. So your body starts pumping out this chemical called adenosine. Now you have all these receptors in your body and in your brain, and as you go throughout the day and your body starts pumping out more and more of this adenosine, it starts attaching to a bunch of these little receptors. Does that make sense?
Yep. So
what that does is it's building up what's called a quote unquote a sleep pressure in your body.
Gotcha.
So as you start to go into the nighttime, and I'm really looking forward to doing another pod on sleep too, because I just, it's incredibly eye-opening how important sleep is. But that's a whole other topic. So as you go through, your body's pumping this out. the adenosine is attaching itself to some of the receptors. Okay. The more receptors that have adenosine attached to them in your body, the more sleep pressure you will feel.
Is that just me being tired, or
yes, that's what it manifests as, is just you being tired. So the later into the night that you go, the more tired you're going to feel, or the more pressure to sleep that you will feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is any of that related to timing, or is it more based on your schedule? Like if I get up at noon every day, am I going to be just as tired at, I don't know, midnight as somebody who gets up at 6?
Fantastic question. And I could go way off to the left here on a completely separate topic that we could talk about for hours.
Gotcha.
Really quick. Your sleep is governed mainly by two things. Your circadian rhythm, okay, which is 24 hours, but it's actually not. It's actually 24 hours and 15 minutes-ish. A lot of people think it's a 24-hour period. It's not. It's 24 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then the other part is your body's pumping out adenosine, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So those are the two things that really govern your sleep-wake cycle.
Gotcha.
So when it comes to timing, you're talking more of your circadian rhythm.
Okay. And what came first, circadian rhythm or 24-hour clock? Or did they just happen to coincide?
I mean, that's a good question. Evolutionarily speaking, we've evolved to have this circadian rhythm sleep-wake cycle, which it's so fascinating how that works in the body and why it works the way it does in terms of your REM sleep and your non-REM sleep, and which one does what and all this other kind of stuff. But anyway, so, and by the way, if anyone who's listening or watching this is interested in the sleep stuff as much as I am, there's a book out there. I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's by the world's foremost expert on sleep on the planet. His name is Matt Walker, I believe it is. Hold on, let me check it up. But it's playing the guitar. The book is called Why We Sleep. And it's just an incredibly insightful book into Matthew Walker. Yeah, PhD. Okay. It's an incredibly insightful book into sleep and everything as it relates to it. So really, really cool book. So if you're interested in sleep, I'll check that out.
Gotcha. So you are just teasing me because I have so many questions about sleep right now.
Dude,
I feel like this is a sleep podcast, and that's what I want to ask questions
but
about.
I feel like with caffeine, like so many people drink it, like
sucker you in with caffeine.
But even the sleep thing, I think, should be broken up into a bunch, like, because it's just, there's so much to it, and it's so important. We spend a third of our lives sleeping, right?
Dang.
There's so much that happens while you sleep, and you know what happens when you don't sleep, and all the, like, it's crazy. So let's try and stick to, I think, to a stimulant like caffeine, because everyone, they drink a Monster or they have some rocket fuel or whatever. I think they can probably benefit from learning why that's doing what it's doing.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm biting my tongue. So many questions.
Okay, so where was I? So the adenosine. So it starts to build up in your system. Not so much on a timer.
Okay.
It's just the amount of time that you're awake. Okay. So if you're awake for, let's say you wake up at 8 a.m. and you generally go to bed about 9 p.m., right? So 13 hours-ish. Okay. You're going to have a certain amount of sleep pressure or a certain amount of tiredness or sleepiness that is going to have built up over that 13 hours because the adenosine has attached itself to receptors in your body.
And what are the symptoms that is responsible for? Like you say, feeling tired. Anything else, or just wanting to sleep? That's it. Yeah, just your general wanting to sleep. So that includes, like, I'm driving and having a hard time keeping my eyes open. And
totally.
And then just feeling lethargic and
totally.
Okay.
Yep. So now your circadian rhythm, that's also playing havoc into things too, right? So as you start to, because you peak midday, right? And then if you think of like a sine wave, your circadian rhythm will start coming down again as you get closer to night to trying to get your body to shut down and sleep again.
Gotcha.
So that, as far as timing goes, that's what looks after that.
So peaks midday, then I take my siesta and then get back after it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, weekends are meant for naps.
So, and there's a lot of science surrounding napping too, which is really cool, by the way.
Good science?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Awesome.
But actually not short naps.
I hate that.
Dude, long naps, not good.
Like, I have a small sleep when I nap. It's not just 20 minutes.
Like, yeah, it should be though. So what the science is showing is that the shorter periods are more beneficial for you.
Gotcha.
Anyway, okay.
Back to caffeine.
Back to the caffeine. So, so the adenosine is building up in your system, and then when you get to the nighttime, your body feels an overwhelming pressure to sleep, and that's because the adenosine has attached itself to all the receptors, and then sleepy time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. That combined with your circadian rhythm. Caffeine. How caffeine works is that caffeine will attach itself to the very same receptors that the adenosine does.
Oh, so it gets there first and blocks them out?
Bingo.
Gotcha.
It literally blocks out the adenosine molecules from attaching to those receptors, therefore stopping you from getting that sleepy feeling.
So what happens to the adenosine? Does it just go find a different receptor?
No. So that's one of the things that happens. So that it literally just your body continues to pump it out, and it continues to build in your system. So when the caffeine does wear off, now you have this giant truckload of adenosine in your body that is looking for receptors to attach to, and it's just a giant snowball.
One might say a crash.
A crash, exactly, right? So if you're familiar with having a bunch of caffeine and then it wearing off and you kind of hitting a wall, that's because the adenosine now has a whole pile of receptors to attach to.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
the solution is drink more caffeine.
You could, but so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Now, you could just continue to have caffeine and keep those receptors topped up 100%, but the body won't stop putting out adenosine until you've slept. When you sleep, the adenosine will gradually dissipate and wear off in your system, allowing you to wake up and to feel rested again.
Gotcha.
However, if you continue to pump in caffeine and keep blocking those receptors, it can attach to it, but it still continues to build in your body.
So can you have so much caffeine and then have so much adenosine in your body that you sleep, but it's not enough for all of it to dissipate or go away? So you wake up tired?
I'm sure you could. If you're talking, some extreme cases.
Gotcha.
Now, here's the thing. As it relates to caffeine, caffeine has a half-life. Do you know what a half-life is?
How long it's alive? No, I don't.
Yeah, actually, that is pretty close to what it is. Yeah. So a half-life is how long it takes for 50% of that effect to wear off, essentially.
Oh, okay. Almost, one would say half of it to wear off.
Exactly.
Oh.
So caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 7 hours.
Gotcha.
In most people. Here's the thing, though, is that when it comes to caffeine, there's a lot of genetic variants that can come into play with that.
Okay.
So you may be... Well, I know for a fact that you are way more less sensitive than some other people are to caffeine.
And a lot of that is practice. I've been drinking copious amounts for long periods of time.
Right. So the stimulant effect of it has just lost some of its effectiveness because your body has become more used to it, right? And like we've talked about lots on the podcast, there is an adaptation effect to every single thing that we do to our body. Your body's constantly trying to adapt to everything that you do. Caffeine is no different than that. So that being said, though, you can build up a tolerance to it. However, some people genetically are able to burn through the half-life of caffeine faster than other people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So in the same way, you know how they say like generally, 8 hours of sleep is what you should get. For me, it actually is about 8 or roughly 8.5. That's when I feel rested. If I'm like 7.5, that's when I start to feel a little more tired. And then obviously anything below that. Genetically speaking, though, there are some people who do need less sleep than that.
Gotcha.
Which is really interesting.
So super personal question. When was the last time you got 8.5 hours of sleep?
Dude, I don't know, weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I actually in this book I'm talking about now, there's a really interesting way that he phrased it, and I really appreciated how he said it because it's not your body's not like a light switch, right? It can't just start sleeping and stop sleeping.
Yep.
The way that he phrased it, and I really liked it, was 8 hours of sleep opportunity.
Oh, gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I'm in bed, let's forget an alarm clock. If I'm in bed for 8 hours, my body has the opportunity to sleep for 8 hours.
Okay.
Now, it may or may not tell me that I need that, right? I may wake up at, whatever, an hour before that 8 hours is up, and my body may say, you're good to go, dude. You feel awake, and I may feel great for the day. Yeah. But I really like the sleep opportunity because there are some, dude, most days I feel like I don't have enough sleep opportunity, and I don't get the sleep that I need to get.
Yep.
You know, the alarm goes off and I get up when I don't want to get up.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So just going back to caffeine, that's how it works in your body. Is it blocks the sleepy molecules from attaching to the receptors, thereby making you feel more awake.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Is that all it does?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
Boom. Episode over. Thanks for tuning in.
That's it,
See
everyone.
you next week, guys.
30 minutes in. Yeah. Really neat though. But like I say, there are some genetic factors that come into play with that. Some people can burn through the caffeine faster than others. But if you're a person that does drink caffeine, keep in mind that half-life, generally speaking, is 6 to 7 hours. So, you know, if you're having anything with caffeine in it around dinner time, just keep in mind that is going to mess with your sleep. As much as you may not feel like, oh, this 60 milligrams of caffeine is it's not going to make me stay awake, I can still go to bed. Fair enough, right?
Science says it will.
Science says it does. 100% it does. So it is affecting your sleep on some level. So, you know, if you, just for the average, if you're saying you go to bed around 9 or 10, you know, then maybe think like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., that's the end of any caffeine input at all.
5:30 p.m.
5:30, you can still double scoop.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. So interesting, huh?
Yeah. So how does dosage come into play?
So, in what way?
So I drink a coffee or 3.
Oh, hold on. You do not.
No. Most people do, so I'm using that as a reference.
Just so everyone knows, Rick is weird about coffee. He doesn't like it. I repeat, does not like it.
That's an understatement. I despise it.
What? How?
I wake up, wifey's making a coffee, and it reeks.
It does not dude, it smells so good.
It's an assault on my sinuses, on my
bingo.
nose.
Yes, it is, and it is wonderful. You're such a
So
weirdo.
gross,
you got ranch on your French fries. You don't like to smell like coffee. Like, dude, a fresh ground bag of coffee, pop the top on that and go, dude, smells amazing. Amazing.
No, I think I'd die.
Oh, you're so weird. You're so weird.
No.
We should do another vote. Another bet, perhaps. Who likes coffee and who does not?
Oh, the world's most popular drink versus
yes, you're welcome.
me.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah. Very similar
I learned
to
my lesson.
It's very similar to the ketchup debate. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Speaking of the bet, did you get that text from my wifey?
I sure did. Yeah, and I agree. And I believe we'll be making this happen at some point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She is now party to the offense. Fantastic.
I like it.
You guys are the worst.
Where were we talking about?
Dosage for caffeine.
Right.
So whether you have 80, 160, 300 milligrams, how does that affect you? Is it the duration that it keeps you awake or yeah?
Yep. So first and foremost, the recommended guidelines for people, or should I say, what they, and I mean they as in the government, the people that make these decisions, what they've deemed to be safe is the average person can consume about 400 milligrams a day safely of caffeine. Okay. So in, a medium coffee or something like that, and I say medium, like a normal cup of coffee, there's roughly 60 to 80 milligrams of caffeine in that.
Gotcha.
So, you can have quite a bit before it adds up to that 400. And again, that's completely dependent on, are you exercising? What is your tolerance level? Genetically, how do you handle it? All that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That being said, let's say you have 100 milligrams versus 200 milligrams. It's just blocking more receptors.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's less receptors for the adenosine to attach to, making you feel less tired.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But keep in mind, when that does wear off, when the half-life does stop of the caffeine, you've got this giant big old fistful of adenosine that's waiting to attach to those receptors.
You're just going to get fisted by adenosine.
You're going to get fisted hard.
Yikes.
Hard fisting.
Okay.
Right in the bum. So it is something to keep in mind though, right? And you can keep the caffeine coming in short of having it on an IV. At some point, the sleep pressure will be so great you couldn't just keep the caffeine. At some point, your body's going to tell you, you have to sleep now, because there's so much built up in your system that you know what I mean? And that's why, like, you know, you pull an all-nighter, you stay up for 30 plus hours. That's why you feel that sleep pressure, because your body's like, dude, enough is enough. Like, you have so much adenosine built up in your system that it's trying to shut it down.
Gotcha. Yeah. Does it eventually get to the point where you don't have a choice? Like, you are going to sleep. It's been 4 days. Too bad. You're sleeping.
Yes, but only in so much as, you know, and you can look at like Navy SEAL training, when they go through their basic training at BUDS, they do sleep deprivation. They call it Hell Week, where they stay up and they have doctors monitor them. Now, you will die if you don't sleep. Your body will die 100%. And there's actually been students in BUDS in SEAL training that have died because they didn't sleep. So that's a very real possibility. That obviously is on the extreme end of things, right? But the point is, if you continue to force a situation, right? If you find a reason to stay awake, and I don't mean like you're watching movies or you're playing a game or something like that. You know, those guys are obviously doing crazy things to stay awake. But they're, you know, they do fall asleep standing up too, right? So, and I'm sure they're having caffeine. I'm sure they're having coffees, and they're keeping the hot coffee, as much as you despise it. They're having that, you know, that come in too. Yeah. But so yeah, there will get to a point where either your body shuts down, or you'll just fall asleep standing up, because there's so much sleep pressure built up because of the amount of adenosine in your system, and caffeine can't fight all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Or at least it's going to try. And like I said, short of having it on an intravenous,
you will lose.
You're going to lose. Yeah. And that's for a good reason, right? Sleep is what keeps you alive. It lets you repair, which we'll get into in a whole nother pod. But it does all of these super beneficial things. So you need it, right? Yep. So if you do find that maybe you're having sleep problems and stuff like that, maybe just think about when that caffeine's wearing off. Like, I know for a long time, I thought that maybe caffeine had, 3-4 hours and it would be out, right? That being said too, what's really interesting is that, and this is kind of going a little further down the rabbit hole of sleep, but what's really interesting is that, let's say you sleep for 4 hours, right? And you get up, you have some caffeine, and you're like, okay, an hour later, you're like, dude, I could use a nap, right?
Totally.
I literally did that the other day.
So I was going to ask you about that. So I've done some shift work in my life, and I would be short of like a pre-workout. I'd take a Monster, crush that, and 2 hours later, I'm at home in bed sleeping.
Right. So how can that be?
Yeah.
Right? How can that be? Because there's such a large amount of adenosine built up in your system. Your body hasn't dissipated it through sleep yet. You're still feeling that sleep pressure.
Gotcha.
Isn't that, it's interesting, hey, how the body's like, nope, I need to repair. I need to get some stuff done. You need to shut her down, So yeah, if you don't get the sleep that you need, the levels won't dissipate. They won't drop down. So you're going to feel that sleep pressure. Now, let's say you get 4 hours of sleep. You wake up, you pound a bunch of coffee, yummy, yummy. Or you have some Monsters or some rocket fuel or whatever, right? You put some caffeine in the tank, and off you go for your day. You'll feel sleep pressure throughout the day. We've all been there. We all feel tired, right? And then as the night comes around, you're like, holy shit, dude, like I am going to crash hard tonight. And when you do, you're like in a coma.
Yeah.
Right? That's because that continues to build up. So you haven't gotten, let's say your sleep pressure was at 100, you slept for 4 hours, it brings it down to 50%. You're starting the day at 50%.
Oh, gotcha.
So you can continue to put caffeine in, and as the level continues to rise, the caffeine is going to attach to those receptors and stop that sleep pressure from building very temporarily. But at some point, it's going to go past that 100%, and there's going to be like a giant fisting that's just ready. It's just ready to give it to you.
Gives you.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had a few of those, and those are the nights where I go to sleep as soon as my head hits the pillow, and I wake up in the exact same spot. Body's aching because I haven't moved for 8 hours. Yeah,
and you feel almost hungover. Right? Like you feel groggy, and
you don't feel good.
No, totally. And that's, again, that's kind of a whole other topic of sleep, but Yeah, that's how caffeine works in the system, man.
Nice.
I think it's really interesting. And if you work out, if you're an athlete, if you're a rider, any one of these things, it's just something to keep in mind. How it works in your system, because at least for me, it gave me a lot of context to go, okay, so when I have this coffee, I'm not just having a coffee and caffeine makes me feel awake and everything's good. There is a very real physical thing that's happening in your body. And so, learning just to keep the reins on that, I guess, is beneficial. At least I thought. Okay,
so major takeaways: be responsible. Don't drink too much caffeine.
Or if you do, just know the repercussions of it. Understand that sleep pressure is going to continue to build, and at some point you're gonna have to pay your pound of flesh to the sleep band.
Gotcha. What's the negatives, the side effects, like overdosing?
Overdosing. I mean, I guess, if you have a crazy amount of caffeine, it has been shown to raise your heart rate, raise your blood pressure, these types of things, very real physiological effects. So there is that, right? It can be not good for your heart. It's hard on your system. I don't know if I've ever actually read any sort of study or article. I'm actually, now that you mention, I'm pretty interested in finding one about like what happens if someone takes like 3 G's of caffeine.
Boom.
Like
heart just explodes.
Dude, but
atom bomb in your chest.
Do you know what I mean? Like I've never actually looked that up before. But it's a really good question. I don't have an answer for it, honestly, but
okay, so you might not have an answer for that, but what about caffeine in general? Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Like I can't tell you how many times people have said, "Oh, don't drink that energy drink. Oh, pre-workout's bad for you. Caffeine's bad for you.
You should have coffee because it's delicious."
Oh, I've never heard that. Actually, I hear that every day.
Caffeine is 100%. It's a safe and effective way to increase your alertness. It for sure is. But it's like anything, right? All in moderation. Hold yourself accountable to how much you're having.
Gotcha.
At the right times during the day. Otherwise, it's going to the effectiveness of it is going to wear off, and B, you're going to dick up your sleep, which does have long-term health effects. Gotcha. So I think as long as you're trying to keep some of those things in mind, you'll be okay. All that considering too that life happens, and sometimes we have to stay up all night and deal with things that happen, and caffeine can be our friend for that.
Gotcha.
But just know that you are going to have to pay the piper at some point.
Deal. And because I'm trying to justify drinking more of this glorious nectar.
Oh, speaking of which, what flavor do you got there?
So
is it blue raz?
I don't know. It might be blue raz. It might be top secret, super confidential, prototype, super flavor that may be releasing, may not be releasing.
Little top secret super flavor, everyone.
Yeah, who knows?
We might be coming out with a new super flavor.
Might be a thing.
Pretty exciting. And if it was the new super flavor, how would you judge the taste?
Man, I'm jiving this. Like this is my jam. So it may or may not be 2 fruits combined in a glorious medley of flavor.
Some might
which
say,
I thoroughly enjoy.
Some might even call it angel piss.
Yeah. Yep. That's where I caught this. Just held the cup out,
I held it out to the clouds. Yep. Some pee came down, filled it up. Yeah. Yeah, so for people who are listening or watching, stay tuned for that because there may be some new things on the horizon.
Yeah, maybe declassified shortly.
Declassified, I like that. Makes me feel very like in the know.
Yeah, because you are. I'm pretty sure you picked the flavor.
I may have. Yeah. No, that'd be cool. I'm looking forward to getting. Oh, I hit the applause button. Did not mean to.
I thought that was a waterfall.
Whoopsie daisy.
Oops, hit the waterfall button again.
Whoopsie daisy, everyone. They're laughing at you.
Yeah, they are.
Everyone's laughing.
I'm used to it.
Everyone's laughing at you.
Welcome to my life.
So, I don't know, man. I hope people found that one interesting and at least somewhat beneficial. I thought it was cool. And again, maybe I'm just a big nerd and obviously I'm into all this kind of stuff. But for me, it gave me context so that when I am consuming caffeine and stuff that, I don't know, something to keep in the back of your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the info.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add? Is that it?
I think so. Should I have something?
I feel like you do.
Nothing that's important. I would say dumb stuff.
I don't know that anything we say is important. I don't think anyone would ever classify this as important.
All 2 of our listeners think so.
That's true. They both do. They really do. One's Tyler, one's Jeremy. We got our boy from Texas.
Oh, my mom listened to a couple, so I think we're up to 4.
Yeah, 4 listeners. Shout out to your mom. So question. Okay, so I was at the track today, riding around in circles.
Mm-hmm.
You somehow or another got secret squirrel footage of me doing said circles.
Yes.
I didn't see anyone filming me.
Mm-hmm. I was not at the track today.
You were not at the track today. And my brain is going around and around like, who would have taken footage for you at the track?
Dude, you're a big deal.
No, I think it's because you know people.
I know people who know that you're a big deal. They send me videos.
I'm just a gomer ripping around the track.
Well, you're definitely a gomer, but you rip around quickly.
No.
Yeah. Stood out at the track today.
He did.
You did.
I did. Why?
You're freshies, man.
Oh, yes, I did get some freshy gear
Dude,
sets.
that gear is so sick.
Yeah, I like it. It's really cool.
What did wifey call it? A beautiful sunrise or something?
Accurate.
Yeah,
accurate. I do resemble a sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very bright and cheerful. Any other word I can think of that describes that.
Yep, that's you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right on, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's podcast number, and I'm just gonna mumble off because I don't know what we're on. I think it's 15 or 16.
Okay.
I feel like
we'll
it is.
Go with that.
And then the next podcast will be podcast episode, and we're just gonna roll on from there because that's what we do.
Send it.
It's a free country.
Yeah.
We'll call it whatever we want.
Do what I want.
Yeah.
You're not the boss of me.
Exactly. Cool, dude. Well, thanks everyone for watching. You can find Rick on Instagram at
Ninja Dust.
Great. Still forgot to ask you why the name.
Oh.
Change it.
And what about yourself, Mitch? Where are you?
It's Fit4Moto, man. Fit4Moto, FIT, the number 4 MOTO. Or the website is fit4moto.com. FITFOURMOTO.com. We've got the merch on there. We got some new merch, by the way. We've got the Up is Up tee.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Up is Up. Which, by the way, if you go on the website and you check that out, that is me launching my bike on the t-shirt. There's like a silhouette. That really is me from the Red Bull Outliers launching my bike on there.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So shout out to whoever gave me that picture for capturing that
I thought you were going to give
moment.
a shout out to yourself. Just shout out to me for launching my bike.
Big shout out to me for launching my bike into the sky.
None of this would be possible without me.
Made possible by me.
The one and only.
Yeah. No, that man, that was so. Speaking of which, they did release the dates for next year's Outliers, dude.
Oh, awesome.
We're prepping right now.
Yes, you are.
We're prepping for the 2023 Outliers, which is actually the exact same dates, 26th, 27th.
Gotcha.
Your boy's going to be downtown, rocking the rogs and logs.
Lifting bikes up off the ground, placing it on
doesn't know how to do it properly. That's fine. We'll work through the problem. And then on day 2, launching it. Because again, can't get it up from skill. Just gonna ride it.
Can you put wings on your bike?
Dude, I should put wings on it.
Totally.
Up is up.
Up is up.
Yeah, I should come up with some sort of weird setup for next year. Make me stand out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Something Inspector Gadget. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Go Gadget arms.
Yes, Go Gadget wings off your bike and you'll just fly
I should
away.
have a little button on the handlebars where the little wings go zit and they come out to the sides. How wicked would that be?
That or tassels and sparkles shoot out.
Yes.
Either one would be awesome.
I could put a little sparkle bomb in there.
Yes.
That's how I distract my competitors. Dude, they're
Sparkle
coming
bomb.
up. Do you think you're going to pass me? Nope. Sparkle bomb. And I ride away and I just drop the sparkle bomb. That's what you get for trying to pass me.
Totes. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So that'll be really cool. Although to be fair, there was like, man, every time I stopped, there was people like, "Hey, I watch your videos. It's cool, dude." You know. So I don't know that I need wings per se, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
That'll be awesome. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah. So we'll be starting to try and, I don't know, man, work on that for a bit. But for now, I got to focus on some moto for this Glen Helen thing.
Gotcha. What do you work on for that?
I think you just hit logs, like literally run into trees. That seems to be what they do.
Yeah.
They just seem to run into trees and go up and down hills.
The more you break your bike, the better you are.
Totally.
At this.
That's how you know you've made it big, is your bike smashed into 100 pieces. No, hold on.
If you don't have electrical tape on your clutch, are you really riding enduro?
If you don't have plastics stitched together, bro, bro.
Do you enduro?
Do you even enduro, bro? Guaranteed there's a whole bunch of people listening. Well, actually, the 2 people listening. Guaranteed they're like, you know what? That's bullshit. That's not, dude, we don't ever like, hold on a minute.
As he's zip tying his plastics together in his bike in the garage.
Exactly. He's listening to it as he's like stitching his plastics together. It's kind of bullshit, but also it's kind of true.
You don't know me.
Yeah, exactly. No, just nailed it. I guarantee you Tyler's going to have something to say about Tyler went to the land.
No, Tyler Wong.
Tyler went to the land for sure. He's going to say something. Guaranteed he's going to post it on his Instagram.
Yep.
He's going to say we're hating on the woods guys, and I'm definitely not, as I gained a ton of newfound respect for those dudes. But also you trash your bikes. Yep. I'm just saying. It's true. It's true. I have a scratch on my motorbike and I'm like, well, that sucks, right? Launched the enduro bike up cliffs, didn't care. In the moment, didn't care.
I never thought I would see you treat a bike like that. Like
I was in
these things, man.
I was all in.
You
know
were
what I mean?
all in.
I was all in. I went full retard on that, dude. In the moment, I just went full crazy and I was like, I'm not trying this again.
Dude,
so
I get it. Like, it's hard to do stuff on a dirt bike, and when you've almost done it, I just launch it and be like, yeah, I'd rather do that than walk all the way down and try it all over again and maybe only get halfway.
Well, totally. So let's say you stop on the hill, right? Now you're trying to like get your bike turned around. It's probably going to fall down and start tumbling down the hill anyway. You know, like I don't know why people do this. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy hard.
Did I tell you about the guy at Outliers that I was watching who got mad, kicked his bike all the way down?
Yeah. He started kicking it.
Yeah, and then it got stuck, and there's a bit of a ledge, I don't know, like 5-6 feet, and he slid past his bike, and he was all pissed off at it, and then he had to climb up so he could kick it even further back down. It was so funny. He was so mad.
Dude, it's so weird the way people treat their stuff, hey?
I'm like, you still got an hour on that thing, bro. Treat it nice.
And it's not the bike's fault, though.
Yep.
Like, you're riding it.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I could give my bike to whatever, Tristan Hart. He'd make it around just fine. It isn't the bike. It's because I suck. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to work on that next year, though.
You got this.
Going to come out firing on all cylinders next year.
How many cylinders on a dirt bike?
6 or 7 at least. At least
Yes.
6 or 7. Just from looking at it. You know what I mean? You fit. Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Lots of them.
Yep. Prove me wrong. Cool, dude. Okay, well, that's episode how many today? And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Check us out on Instagram. Hit the website. Get some merch. And support the cause, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you guys. Thanks.
Right on. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye. How was that 52 minutes and a half?
Dude, I know we chatted about caffeine for a couple, but then what? Like, what the hell did we talk about?
Talked about the topic for like 13 seconds. That was it.
So this is what caffeine does. Keeps you awake. Moving on.
Moving on to a whole bunch of stuff you didn't sign up to listen for.
They're fast forwarding, hitting the fast forward button on the podcast thing.
I can't find the part that I want.
Yeah, totally. These guys are rambling.
Tricks because it's not there. Haha.
Yeah, fooled you.
Yeah, lured you in with caffeine.
Gotcha.
Boom.
53 minutes.
Nice.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.